Hey guys, so welcome back to Katalon Studio, and as you know, myself Tej Kumar GK. So this video has been made for on-demand request from few folks who are into QA or testing domain as such. So let's get started with Katalon Studio. So in today's topic, as per the agenda, we'll be learning about what is this Katalon Studio. Is it a testing tool or what? And what can be achieved by using this tool? And how it can help to automate. So the point number 3 is basically a forward linking question, which means that using this tool, some kind of automation testing can be done. So what is that automation? What type of automation can be done? We'll see. And also we'll see about download and install of Katalon Studio. Since my underlying operating system is Windows, we will see how to download and install the Katalon software and then how to use it to perform some of the operation for which this Katalon Studio is being famous for. And then we'll be talking about the real-time implementation of Katalon Studio. So in the real-time implementation, we'll see how we can automate a web application, which also being predominantly done nowadays by Selenium WebDriver using any of the programming languages. And the browsers in scope considered are Internet Explorer, Chrome, and Firefox for this real-time implementation. And this would be the real-time scenario which we would be automating. Definitely, when we talk about testing, so the test execution should have some kind of reporting which should be available so that that can be shared for the relevant stakeholders. So the last topic would be the reporting. So what are the different types or formats of reporting which the Katalon Studio supports? So as of now, we'll be looking into HTML, CSV, XML, and video format. Okay, guys, so let's get started and come back to our first slide as to what is Katalon Studio. So let us go ahead and open up the official web page of Katalon Studio in here. So this is the official web page of Katalon Studio. And if you see about the description or about the product, so Katalon helps to quickly generate the automated test cross-platform, which means this is similarly of one of the operation which would be done by Selenium WebDriver, but one of the major difference of Katalon Studio is it is free in nature. You need not have to pay, provided you're ready to okay in use or to use the available features. And also, Katalon Studio has zero programming knowledge, or somebody wants to use this tool need not have to learn any of the programming language. So that is one of the main reason people would tentatively look out for those automation testing tool which doesn't require any programming knowledge as such. Having said about that, now let us go ahead for the second slide, which talks about what can be achieved by it. So what are all the different types of operations that can be done is, let's go ahead and see the documentation section in here. So in the documentation section, we have something called as solutions. Solutions are basically what can be achieved by using Katalon Studios. As we can see, web application testing or UI testing, API testing, mobile testing, and desktop testing or executable software testing. So these are all the different types of testing which can be accomplished by using Katalon Studio specifically, which we're talking about. All right, now talking about how it can help automate. Simple, we know that this is a tool which is used to automate these type of softwares, which are basically web application software, API softwares, mobile softwares, and desktop softwares. How? The question number 3 would be answered when we actually implement the real-time scenario. So having said about that, let's quickly move into the second slide, which is download and install the Katalon Studio. In here, if you click on download, it does take us to the download page where it has the software available with respect to different operating system platforms. If you see in here, the current scope of the operating systems are Linux, Mac, Windows 32 and 64-bit. Since the underlying Windows PC which I'm using is of 64-bit, which is, this is how you find out whether your architecture of the Windows laptop is 32 or 64-bit. Just hit the Windows button and type in this PC and right click on the properties. And in the properties, you would be able to see something called as system type. So in here, the system type is 64-bit operating system, which makes me choose, okay, you know what, this is 64-bit, so I'm supposed to click on this particular option. But fortunately, I've already downloaded and installed the software, which is available in the desktop. So this is the Katalon Studio, which has been downloaded already. And this is what the Katalon software would look like. And the installation of the Katalon Studio is pretty much simple as to how we install any executable software. So that's being the reason. The point number 5 says what kind of installation the Katalon Studio has. It is an easy install, which is just by clicking on next as a prerequisite, and you will be selecting the installation folder. That's it. So there won't be any configuration as such or setting up environmental variable, which you do in case of Java or Maven or whatsoever, any other relevant software for that matter. So it's just an installation of how you install, for an example, of a VLC media player for that matter. So in the meantime, where the Katalon software is getting launched, let's go to the second slide, which talks about the platform which is in scope of implementation. So we'll be definitely considering a web application where we'll be automating certain scenarios. So till the time the Katalon is loading, let us explore that simple application which we are looking into. So this is basically a Katalon demo web application which is used. In here we have a login screen, and for the login screen, the demo account has been already created from the development side. So we just have to use those accounts which has been created for the login. As you can see, the John Dio is the username, and this, not a password, is the password which you're supposed to use. And apart from that, we do have information about this healthcare services with a contact number, and we have social networking links which are provided in here. And the last one is basically the copyright information of the entire software. So let's click on login. So now we have basically logged into the application. Using this web page, anybody can book an appointment to the health center, which are available in 3 regions. One is Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Seoul. So let's say I want to book an appointment for hospital readmission, considering that there's some health issues, and I'm selecting 26 dates. So this is creating an appointment for Tokyo region, and I'm going to give my name, which is Tej Kumar, and book an appointment. The moment I book an appointment, the confirmation page would be shown that, hey, you know what, your appointment has been confirmed. And if you want to find out all the appointments which you have created for this particular user login, you just go to histories, and this is what has been created. So similarly, this is one of the way of creating a single appointment for the region Tokyo. Similarly, we'll be creating for Hong Kong and Seoul, and there would be play around with respect to the healthcare program. You can choose a Medicaid or Medicare or none. So we will be concentrating on creating different appointments with respect to different regions, which are 3 in this case. So that was about the application, and then we have a profile, so which is under construction, and then we have a home page which we saw, which says Cura Healthcare Service and the Make Appointment button. So let's log out from here now, and let's see what has happened with respect to Katalon Studio. All right, so this is how a typical Katalon Studio would look like post installation. If you try to open the Katalon Studio, this is how it would look like. So let me concentrate on a couple of things in here. So this is the help or the welcome page for the Katalon Studio, which may not be important, but however, if you're interested in the tutorials, you can click on this tutorial links in here, and you can explore the web-based portal which will be launched in here. So there's a quick start wherein you can go through the couple of videos which are provided in here. And also there is a clear-cut documentation with respect to different types of testing which has been performed. If you're going through web-based testing, then you get the documentation for web testing. API testing, you get the documentation relevant for API. And in the meantime, for mobile testing in here. Having said about that, let me close this and also the official page. And let's come back in here. Since I know this is the welcome page, which has the information of the tutorials, and I feel I do not want this to be launched every time the Katalon Studio is launched. So you can cancel that. But however, if you want it again to be present, this entire section, you can just go to help and click on Katalon help. You can regain it back. Having said that, we have the menu tabs in here, wherein we have a file section where we can create a new sample project. When I say project in here, it asks for what kind of projects you want to create. It depends on the type of testing you're doing. If you're doing an mobile-based testing, it'll ask whether it is an Android platform or an iOS platform. Accordingly, you'll be creating the project. And if you are talking about the API testing, then you will be going for Jira. If you're talking about the UI testing or web-based testing using Jira, then you select this as an option. And if the framework which you're using is BDD, that is Cucumber, then you go for sample BDD Cucumber test objects. Apart from that, there are some import settings and keywords which not be frequently used in here. Then if you go for actions, we won't be using much of these options which are available in here. Apart from that, we have projects and debug options, test hops, windows, help, and tools. We will go with respect to each tabs which are available as and when the time arises, but let us quickly create a simple project in here. So I'm going to click on new. That's a simple way of creating it new. And here I'm going to choose what type of application it is. So it's a web-based application. So it is web app testing. Web app testing. And this is what the repository where the information of this project would be showed. Basically the files which would be showed. So I'm going to copy the path and paste it in here. And let me come back and click on OK. In the meantime, let me copy this path and enter the Windows Explorer and try to navigate to that path, which is Katalon Studio. So as you can see here, this is the one this is the folder or the project which has been created now, which is web app underscore testing. So as you can see, the time in here, it is 7:14 p.m. This is what the exact project which you have created. And these are all the files relevant to those projects. Let's see what's happening inside the Katalon. So did we get this created? Because before that, we didn't have anything in the test explorer. And guys, one more thing, the look and feel of this Katalon Studio is similar to that of Eclipse, how we have problems and consoles in here, event log and consoles and log viewer. It has a typical same view of the Eclipse. And what we call an Eclipse is called as Project Explorer. In here, we call it as Test Explorer. And these are all the different tabs. As in when we talk about different tabs, we will be we'll learn about each one of them. But however, the most important ones are the test cases, the object repository, and the test suite. So now, since we spoke about the web application testing, we know that web application testing is a testing which would be done in a browser. Now the question arises, hey Tej, you know what? Since it can be tested in a browser, so which would be the targeted browser which you are planning to? So as you can see in here, this run button is disabled now because you have not created any test cases as such. So let me create a sample test cases for that matter. And this is related to the project name. So let me name my project as to Cura. So Cura is my healthcare domain project. So I'm going to name this as Cura. And in here, I'm going to create the test cases. So my first fundamental test case would be login to application, or let's say login. And this would be something called as login. The reason as to why tags is important is, for now, this is the first test cases which you're creating. Eventually, your project could have a number of test cases. So all of a sudden, if you want to find out a typical test cases for retesting purpose or for regression purpose, it would be very difficult for you to search in the search window in here. So that's being the reason we give a tag name, which becomes easy while we query any specific test cases which we want to find out. All right, so the creation is in progress, guys, and kindly watch this tab which has been created now, and we have this option enabled now. So Closely observe, these are all the different browsers which are supported. So given a particular scenario, it can be automated by using Chrome, Firefox, IE, Safari, Edge, and whatnot. And now let us take a simple example of login case in here. So for that, I have to take the login URL in here, and you can see in here, this is basically spy web and record web buttons. Similarly, we have spy and record for mobile, spy and record for Windows based application. So these two buttons are completely for Windows based application, these two for mobile based applications, and these for web based applications. So let me click on record web, because we know that Katalon Studio is fundamentally with zero coding, and completely it's all about a record and then playback, what we had in case of Selenium IDE. So I've just hit on this, and the default browser selected is Chrome, and as you can see in here, the Katalon Studio login page got launched. So let me perform the login operation. So let me copy this username, which is John Joe, and let me copy the password and enter and click on login. Login is successful, guys. How we can confirm that is, see, we can go to profile page in here. So this is one of the confirmation as to login is working fine, and also history page. So history page will not be available if you're in login page. If you are navigated or the authentication is successful, only then you would be able to go there. So that was about the login scenario. So let me log out of the application. Logout is complete, and as you can see in here, you cannot see the history or the profile page. So which means that you're in the login screen, and I would be closing the browser. Now, if you see, all our user actions are recorded in here, starting from the first one, which is opening the browser, navigating to a particular URL, and then till it is closing the browser. So it is asking, hey, you know what, this is what have been recorded for the actions which you performed. What do you want to do? I want to store it. So where do I want to store it? I want to store in the object repository, but I want to create a new folder in here, which is test case 01 underscore login, because this elements which has been captured in the web application is for login scenario. That is why I want all the relevant objects to be created in here. Now we have successfully created a test cases, and when we recorded that particular test cases, all the relevant objects were stored in the Katalon Studio. So since this is what my relevant steps, which we have step 1 to step 20, now let me try to run it. Remember, guys, we're not using any coding thing in here. We are just recording and playing it back. Let's see what happens. So my test case is running in here, and here is the console where we can view what is happening. So the red indication says that the execution is in progress. Once the execution is completed, like you can see, the Chrome browser has been launched, and the navigation to the Cura healthcare web page would happen, and then we would be entering the username and the password and click on the login button, and then we would be navigating through different page, which is profile page, history page, and then finally log out and close the browser. Did we achieve that, guys? Absolutely, right? Now if you go to the log viewer in here, let me maximize it. Log viewer is basically a test engine viewer which says all the steps which has been followed, and the green indication states that all the tests are being passed, and this is where you will be able to see whether your particular test case is passed or failed. In the console, this basically is a Eclipse typical console, which gives an information of what just happened at the back end right from the time the browser was launched. It does gives information about what is the underlying Selenium version which was used by Katalon Studio, which you need not have to take about downloading or installing about it, because Katalon will take care of it. Why? Because there are additional plugins which we will see in the upcoming videos, guys. And it will also display the current Chrome browser version, which is this. Let us see if it is correct or not. So go here, click on the menu option and help about Google Chrome. And what we have in here is 78.0.3904. Do we have the same thing, guys? 78.0 .3904.70 exactly. So I have the same version, so which means that this is something what we call it as data driven. So while the test suite is an execution or a test case is an execution, it also captures the information of the browser and the underlying operating system. So we just got that, and this is how we automate a given scenario for the web application. So let me come back to the slide, guys. We saw the real-time implementation, and with respect to the real-time scenario, we just covered the first case, which is TC01 login. So in the upcoming next video, we'll be talking about the TC02, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, so there is this real-time scenario which we'll be covering, and after that, we would see how the reporting structure would be appearing post completion of our suit execution. All right, guys. So thanks a lot for your time for watching the introduction to Katalon Studio and how to do a basic web application testing for a given web application. So kindly watch for upcoming videos on the other features which the Katalon Studio provides. Thanks a lot for your time. If you like the video, kindly watch it and like it and comment it for any suggestions you have with respect to the videos or topics for which new videos can be created. Thank you, guys.